unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to introduce myself to you, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So as you've already read by the title, today's video is all about whether he will come back. So this video, of course, is applicable to anybody, male, female, however you identify as, because as you know, my channel is all inclusive. And before I get into the 4 groups that you can choose from for your reading, I have a really important message for you. Just because they decided to come back does not mean that you should take them back. It is important for each and every one of you to know your worth and to not settle for less or to settle for a situation that makes you feel sort of like you're compromising. Also, if you feel like you're being treated like a second choice, definitely not what I would want or recommend for any one of you. But at the end of the day, the decision is completely up to you. Just wanted to put that out there. So anyways, you guys, moving into the 4 groups that you can choose from. So I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. Just go with whichever mineral that you feel resonates the most with you. So the minerals are as follows. We have the black tourmaline, we have the tiger eye, we have the azurite, as well as the amethyst. But the timestamps are in the description box as well as pinned to the comment section, so you can click your corresponding timestamp in order to fast forward to the reading of your choice. And if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed your reading, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and leave a little comment down below of what really hit home. So yeah, you guys, I don't want to waste any more time in the intro. I would rather spend more time within the individual readings. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the black tourmaline, and to all the other groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the black tourmaline, group number 1. So let's do a little close up on this stone. This is honestly one of my favorites. I just love the texture in it. So I want to get straight into your reading to figure out exactly whether they're coming back or not. So let's see what we have for you. First and foremost, we have the Knight of Crystals. So there is sort of earthy energy here. The Knight of Crystals corresponds to earth signs, and I want you to know here that there is a sense of determination around. There is a sense of making things happen, but whether that actually has to do with love or more with things in the earthly realms, that is not yet clear from just one card, obviously, group number 1. So it could be that they're very focused on their work, they're very focused maybe on themselves and their appearance, because after all, one of the earthly things is your health as well as your time. So they may be in a space where they're focusing on something completely different and where they're investing a lot of their time in a venture that isn't love. But let's move further into your reading. Then we have the Queen of Crystals, we have the 9 of Shells, we have love, as well as the Ace of Feathers. So group number 1, I'm sure you're delighted to hear the appearance of love, because love is just always something amazing. So in love, there obviously is an indication that love may be entering your life soon, that love is something that is a part of your reading, a part of what is coming up for you. And in the Queen of Crystals, I definitely see somebody who gives comfort to other people. So this could be the person that you're inquiring about. This could also be you. And in the Ace of Feathers, I definitely see mental clarity there. So mental clarity for you as well as for them. So the fact that we do have love in your reading is a strong indication that there is a good chance that they're coming back, especially if they feel as though that love, that deep connection is mutual. But either way, group number 1, what happened here, whatever it is that transpired between you and them, is definitely something that was real and is definitely something that was authentic. And in the 9 of Shells, I want you to know that either way, they're really grateful for the experience. Either way, they're very happy to have met you. And one thing that they really miss is just spending time together where they feel like there's no worry, so to say. They feel like they don't have a worry in the world. They feel like everything just disappears when you're together, and they can just enjoy spending this like one-on-one time. And it's something that they may not be used to. So this person that you're inquiring about has maybe never felt a connection like this before, or maybe has never had the privilege to be with somebody who cared so much about them as you did. But I definitely see a deep appreciation for that, as well as a lot of recognition in the feelings that you shared. but let's see what else is up for you, group number 1. We have the 5 of shells as well as the 2 of acorns. So in the 5 of shells, one thing that I see here is that there's definitely a glimmer of hope. So they may come back and like text you. They may sort of like, what did people use, like poke on Facebook? So they may kind of like poke you virtually in a way. Obviously this doesn't need to be on Facebook. I mean, that is over that time, but just they may kind of like make a move towards you, and it may seem like a very, very little move to you, but to them that's kind of like they're just testing the waters, you know what I mean? So they may like your photos, they may leave a little comment, they may just write you a little text, and that will of course spark up hope. That will of course make you feel like there is a new beginning here, like there is a new foundation that can be built. So them coming back, there is a good chance for this. And this hope is something that I don't want you to take too far though, group number 1, because there are people who like to give other people hope, but then don't really follow through. So don't like invest too much of your emotions or your heart as soon as there's a little bit of hope around, because that might just leave you getting hurt and leave you feeling really alone, if you know what I mean. Because love is something that has a lot to do also with trust. And if they broke your trust, you need to give them time to earn it back. And by giving them time, I mean also give yourself time. You know, don't trust so easily. Don't allow yourself to basically fall for a little pep talk from them. If they say that they've changed, allow them to show you that they've changed. And if they're unwilling to put in the work and unwilling to prove that to you, then it's a no, okay? Group number 1, just because they came back doesn't mean that you should take them back. And if they leave you feeling like they don't want to put any effort in at all to change things and for reconciliation, then you may want to consider moving on, or the same thing might just happen again. Then in the 2 of acorns, one thing that I see here is that they are kind of like stalking you. They are cyber stalking you. They are watching what you're doing, okay, group number 1. So they may be checking out your Instagram profile, your Facebook profile. They might be just like checking what photo you put on WhatsApp, stuff like that. But obviously that is not something that they would admit to, but they're definitely watching you from afar and paying attention to little details. They're interested to see whether you've moved on. They're interested to see what you're posting, what you're doing, and just what you're putting out there in the world. So if you're somebody who doesn't post a lot, who doesn't share a lot, know that they wish that they knew more, and that they're checking to see if there's maybe like one of those little updates, or if you're actually reacting to the situation that happened. Because whenever there's sort of like a going apart in love, trust me, both parties are interested in what the other one is doing when the feelings were genuine. And as we spoke about, group number 1, I can't talk. The feelings were genuine within this connection, so they want to know what's up. They want to know what you're doing. Then we have listen to your body as well as progress. So group number 1, one thing that I see here for you is just the fact that listening to what you feel is right is very important. So as we spoke about, you don't have to take them back. You don't have to let this connection be there again the way it used to be, just because, especially if you were hurt, like it's really hard to get back into the groove of trusting somebody, and you don't have to. If every little cell in your body is telling you not to and telling you to move away from this person, then listen to your body. There's a reason why this card showed up. And in progress, I want you to know that each day that you think about them a little less, each day that you kind of move a little further away, should your body be like rejecting them, is you making progress, is you sort of severing the ties that joint you together, that put you into this connection, if you will. So allow yourself to make progress. The same goes for, you know, if they come back and you decide to give them another shot, allow progress to take time. Allow them to prove themselves. And if they don't feel like it's worth it, then you know that they don't think that you're worth it. And I'm just completely honest here on my channel, group number 1. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to tell you lies. I'm going to give you the exact advice that I would give a little sister, a little brother, my best friend, my aunt, my mother, literally anybody, okay? So I hope you can appreciate this honesty and just the fact that they need to like do something if they come back, okay? Things can't be the same, because that is literally the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different outcome or result. So then we have let go, we have be assertive, we have wait, as well as remain positive. Okay, so group number 1, your reading has taken a very, very interesting turn. So they may want to come back, okay? There is a strong indication that the feelings were genuine, the feelings were mutual, and they would like to come back. They would like to have that little glimmer of hope turn into a loophole where they can enter your emotional space and realms again. And one thing that I see within your reading is that it is probably best for you to let go of them, because you have to be assertive, okay? You really need to take that time to think to yourself, is this what I want? Do I want to risk this falling apart again? And it just like, it might take a little bit of time, but ultimately what your guides, what the universe wants you to do is to reconcile any feelings, any hurt emotions if you can with this person, but it is probably best for you to let go of this connection. It would probably be the healthiest for you emotionally, and sometimes it takes time, you know, that is why we have wait show up. Sometimes you need a little bit of time to really come to terms with it, because losing somebody, it's almost like a death, okay? I've been through it before as well. It's very painful. So I understand if this is not something amazing to hear, if this is not easy to hear, but deep down inside, like if you feel like this is not right, if you feel like you should let go of this connection, and then do so. Be assertive, let go, and remain positive, okay? Your guides have sent you this message for a reason. They want you to not give up on love, to not feel like you won't find love again, because that is just completely untrue. But what is true is that remaining positive will allow you to have more progress. It will allow you to move on a lot quicker and establish a new connection elsewhere. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you can appreciate my honesty within this reading. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger Eye group number 2. I want to find out exactly whether they are going to come back. So let's move straight into your reading. So first and foremost, we have the 10 of Acorns. And what else do we have for you, group number 2? We have the Traveler. So one thing that I see here is definitely a new beginning, as well as this new sense of dedication. So they may definitely want to come back and start things on a whole another note. So depending on what transpired between you and this person, there may have been a lot of hurt, a lot of maybe even lies or trauma, and you both know that you can't reconcile, that you can't get back together if you keep things the way they were. So there would have to be a completely new beginning, and you both being open for new potential, as well as just like a new adventure in love. Then I want you to know here in the 10 of Acorns that we do have very fiery energy, and it comes at the same time with responsibility, okay? So do not make any hasty decisions, and do not allow them to make any hasty decisions. Make sure that you both are mature about the situation, and that you take time to speak about it if you are on speaking terms. So then we have the 3 of Acorns as well as the Queen of Acorns. So this is no coincidence, okay? We have 2 more acorn cards, which is just an indication for more fire signs, for more fiery energy. So I want you to keep in mind here that what is important is to not act impulsively, and to keep your foresight strong, especially if you have to do with a fire sign, or if you're a fire sign yourself, because then you may have the tendency to act without thinking it through properly, just because you're a very passionate person. You're somebody who has a lot of strong emotions. And in the Queen of Acorns, I want you to see here that it's important for you to remain sort of like strong in your passions as well as your creativity. Don't lose yourself in the process of this entire situationship. Whether they come back or not should not impact or influence your personal life and the things that you have as hobbies, the things that you love to do, the things that also sort of like define you a little bit. So if you really love to write or create YouTube videos. Maybe you're really into doing makeup looks or putting together fun outfits. It's important for you not to stop doing so just because you feel uncomfortable around them, just because you feel as though if they enter your life again, that they're going to think like that it's not cool, or that they don't really care about it, or that they don't show much interest. I want you to make sure that you keep everything that you're passionate about, that lights you up. I want you to keep those things going strong regardless of the situation. But let's figure out a little more of whether they're going to come back. So we have the Ace of Shells, the Six of Crystals, as well as the Eight of Feathers. So in the Ace of Shells, one thing that I see is a new emotional beginning. One thing that I see here is a new chance of happiness. Whether that is with them or not, that is not completely clear. But I want you to also know here in the Eight of Feathers that if you do end up coming back together, if he does end up trying to enter your life again, you have to be courageous enough to bring up everything that you did not like. You have to be courageous enough to ask him, like, hey, what were you doing? What were you thinking? And what do you really want out of this relationship this time around? Do not let the person get away with just stringing you along. Do not let them get away with just telling you, let's just see how it goes a second time around, because that is truly a recipe for disaster. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you allow that to happen, then most likely you will need your friends, your family, and so on to support you, because you will be an emotional wreck if they come back and you allow them to sort of be a part of your life the way they were before, and for things to break apart as they were before. Because one thing that I see within you is that you have this sense of guilt when you do something wrong. You have this sense of guilt when you allow yourself to be hurt, because you then start thinking to yourself, why did I allow this person into my life? Why did I allow this person to know so much of me? And then you start blaming yourself, and you just fall into this cycle that is a no good cycle that none of us need within our lives, and that I don't want you to start to establish, if you know what I mean. So look out for that. But let's move further into your reading to see whether they're going to be making a move on trying to come back anytime soon. Then we have sincere relationships, as well as get clear. Okay, so this person is definitely looking for a sincere relationship. They're definitely on the hunt to be with somebody that they can settle down with, but they still need to sort of figure out whether they're sure that it's you or not. That is what I see in get clear. They're taking some time to just contemplate, to just think about what it is that they truly want, and also if they see those qualities in you. So they may not come back anytime soon. They may check up in a couple months, maybe even a little later than that, but they truly have things going on in their life that they are solving right now. So group number 2, do not feel as though they will come back tomorrow. Do not feel as though they will try and make a serious move anytime soon. And if they do, then know that this is not the time. Know that it is not sincere, okay? It's very important for you to know that in order for them to really establish that sincere relationship, they need to go back, take time to think about themselves, their actions, everything that they maybe regret, everything that they could have done better in the relationship, and then come back, basically change, basically a new man, a new woman, a new unicorn, if you will, and to just implement those changes straight into the connection. Anything that happens within a couple weeks, it's just not enough time, and it's just going to be a very toxic situation and a very toxic outcome for you. Then we have success. So group number 2, I definitely see as though, like, if they do come back after a good amount of time, after you both had time to grow, to mature a little more, there are great chances for success, okay? There are really, why did I want to say gruel, like in Mean Girls, great and cool. There is really a lot of good energy here that can lead to a great relationship that might last for years or even a lifetime. Then we have a let go as well as trust. So group number 2, in the meantime, you do have to let go, and you have to trust that if it's meant to be, they will come back at the right time. They will come back exactly when you need them to come back, exactly when sort of like everything is aligned and ready for this relationship to prosper. So by you just trusting, by you just continuing on with your life, as difficult as it is, you are basically preparing yourself as well as them and the relationship for success, for something greater to transpire, and for just, you know, happy times, a time of emotional fulfillment. Then last but not least, the situation will improve. So it's completely clear, group number 2, that right now you may be in sort of like a situation of turmoil. You may feel sad, you may feel depressed, you may feel anxious, and also to a certain degree, maybe anger or regret. But I want you to know that the situation will get better. This is no coincidence that this card has showed up as the very last card in your reading. It could have been anything else. It could have been a no, it could have been a later, it could have been a run away from this person, you know what I mean? So you should definitely remain open-minded, okay? But focus on yourself, focus on your growth, allow them to focus on themselves. But this is definitely a situation where later down the line in time, you know, maybe the timing wasn't right this time around, and maybe the maturity levels were not where they should have been. But just by giving it a little bit of time, just by allowing the two of you to do your own thing and grow as people separately and become your own people separately, coming together then is just going to be so much stronger and better. And you are going to recognize old parts of each other later down the line, but you're going to see so much more in the relationship, so much more in the other person than you ever have before. So group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it insightful, maybe a little motivational. Let me know down below in the comment section what really hit home and resonated with you. And I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Azurite, group number 3. First and foremost, let's do a little close-up of your stone. Oops, okay, right there. It is so gorgeous. I absolutely love the Azurite. It is, oh my god, it actually goes with my nails. It is so cute. Literally, I just love all of the different colors and all of the different textures in here. So great choice, group number 3 is basically what I'm trying to say. But let's move into your reading about whether he will come back. So let's figure out what's going on with them. First and foremost, we have the 10 of shells. So ultimately, group number 3, there will be blessings as well as emotional well-being here for you. So I'm sure you're happy to hear that, because who does not want to feel fulfilled? Who does not want to feel happy, as well as just like you can relax, you know, and just let yourself enjoy everything that is in your life, especially on an emotional level, especially on a level of relationships. But let's see if in correlation to this person, if it has anything to do with them or not. We have the World. Okay, more fulfillment. Group number 3, is this even a reading about whether he's going to come back or not? Because I just see so much love and fulfillment and happiness just as a whole, not in like one little romantic relationship. Well, not that it's little, but you know what I mean. Not in one area of your life that is romantic, but just in general, a big sort of wave of love, a big wave of fulfillment and blessings and just happiness coming your way. So this is really awesome news, group number 3. Let's move further into your reading. Then we have the 4 of feathers as well as the page of shells. So we have 2 shell cards right here, the 10 as well as the page. And I want you to know that the shells correspond to water signs. They correspond to people who are rather emotional, to people who are very connected to their deepest self. And in the page of shells, I want you to know that there is somebody here who is maybe not quite mature yet, who is maybe not quite emotionally where they would like to be, and they still have a lot to learn. Does that mean that they cannot be in a serious relationship? No, that does not have to be the case. But either way, if he or she or they come back, know that there is still a lot of learning to do. Know that there is still a lot of heartache, maybe even a lot of situations where you feel let down, where you feel annoyed, where you feel depressed, you know, where you just feel this whirlwind of emotions because you don't understand why they're so childish. You don't understand why they don't get it and why they're not as mature as you are. And in the 4 of feathers, I want you to know here that you need a little bit of time to really think about whether that's something that you're okay with, whether you would be okay with them coming back, and maybe going through a rough time emotionally because you ask yourself, like, when are they gonna grow up? When are they gonna like mature up, so to say? When are they gonna finally understand that in serious relationships, like things should be done a certain way how you feel emotionally fulfilled? So that is one thing that I want you to keep in mind, group number 3, and for you to really figure out whether that's something that you want or not. Okay, we have 2 cards that just popped out of the pile, especially for you. So we have the 7 of Acorns as well as the Moon. So you have to follow your intuition, okay? So group number 3, one thing that I see here is that they are maybe going to come back, and that in the Moon, your perception is everything, okay? In the 7 of Acorns, I do see that there's a possibility of them coming back and just trying to find a way back in, trying to figure out whether they can make this connection work again. But in the Moon, I want you to know that there may be some lies around, and that may also be one of the reasons why the connection broke apart. Maybe they weren't completely honest about how they felt, like if they were ready or not. Maybe they weren't completely honest about who they were as a person, who they were as, you know, a human being, and you figure that out. And lies, that is not something that you like. That is not something that you can cope with. And I want you to know here that you really need to focus on what you feel. You really need to focus on your intuition, as in the Moon, of course, lies are possible. Lies are always possible, okay? No matter who you're speaking to, somebody could always be lying to you, but you do have this strong sense when it comes to this person that just ticks off your alarm bells and shows you and tells you, like, hey, this is not right. So listen to what you're feeling, your body, your gut is telling you, because that will really be an indication as to whether they're telling the truth or not. And in the 7 of Acorns, as I said, they're determined to kind of like find a way. They're determined to be a part of emotional happiness, emotional fulfillment. And if they see that you're doing amazing, like, they may try and weasel their way back in. And this may be after you have been apart for a while and they see you going through your glow up, and then they kind of want to like have a little piece of the cake, if you know what I mean. So group number 3, really think about whether you want to share this new cake with somebody from your past, or whether you want to save it for someone who deserves it more, in your opinion. Then adding one more card to your reading up here, we have the 4 of Acorns. So in the 4 of Acorns, all the way over here, I'm just rearranging the cards, I see that there is a sense of comfort, that there is a sense of, you know, when you know somebody and it's just way easier to talk to them than with someone completely new because you know them. So there's this kind of like barrier that is not existent. There's this kind of boundary that has been broken down because you know each other a lot better. And I see here that they feel as though if they come back, like, that boundary isn't there because you already know each other and they can just do whatever they want, okay? They can just get right back into their comfort zone, act like they've always acted, and they most likely don't feel like they need to improve very much about themselves. They most likely feel as though everything is fine and they can just come back. So as I said, whether you want to allow that or not, group number 3, that is completely up to you. Okay, so moving on, group number 3, we have negativity. So one thing that I see here for you in negativity is just the fact that there may be a lot of people around you who are telling you to forget about the situation, or who are telling you to just move on, and that this person isn't right for you. So this is not always negativity, okay? I want you to keep in mind what you call negativity. I mean, obviously, we can easily say that it's negativity when our mom told us to like do the dishes or something, like, oh, I don't even want to deal with that negativity. You know what I mean? Really, really think about whether something is negativity or real concern, because sometimes we can see certain things as negativity when it's in our benefit, like with the dishes. So keep in mind here that a lot of people really do care about you and about your feelings, and they don't want to see you get hurt, and they don't want you to be in a position where your emotions are compromised. So that is one thing that I want you to look out for. Then we have get clear. as well as sincere relationships. So it's important for you to get clear about how a sincere relationship is meant to function, is supposed to function for you. Okay, we all have different expectations and viewpoints of relationships and how they're supposed to work. So group number 3, I want you to not be ashamed, you know, if this person makes a comeback, to tell them like, this is what I want, okay? And I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am, what I deserve, and what I want. Like, glow up, be this completely like new person if you want to be this new person. Be this person who is assertive, who knows what they want, and who is not afraid to tell them straight up, like, it's either my way emotionally where I have fulfillment as well, or it's the highway. And of course, we're not going to do things completely one-sided here. Both parties need to be fulfilled, but them just trying to come back in as soon as they see like that there's a good opportunity, or as soon as they see that, oh, you know, maybe I can make a comeback, like, no, okay, we're not just going to allow them to settle right back in where they were, because that is one thing that I was saying in the 4 of Acorns, that I see in the 4 of Acorns, that if they had, like, for instance, that spot on the couch where they would just come back, put their, you know, kick their feet up and just relax while you do all the work, basically. And of course, this does not necessarily have to apply to your situation. I'm just giving you like an idea, an example. So if that is what they used to do and just allow you to do all the work and think about everything that is important, don't allow them to have that space on the couch again, okay? They can start somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in the bathroom on like a little stool. They can start working their way back to their privileges. And if you've always felt like you've been the one who has put more effort into the relationship, it's a hard no. They don't need to ever get back into that role. It's important for you to let them know that that is not how you see the dynamic working. And if the dynamic is not going to change, if they are unwilling to change the dynamic or have too much of an ego or too much pride, then I mean, it's up to you, but yes. So let's move further into your reading. We have ask your angels as well as unlikely. So group number 3, one thing that I see for you is that them making a sincere comeback is more or less a little bit unlikely, okay? I want you to keep in mind here that it is important for you to ask for guidance, okay? Ask for guidance from your spirit guides, your angels. Ask for the world, the universe, to send you synchronicities, to send you signs that lead you down the right path. Because one thing that I see for you, as I said, is a lot of amazing fulfillment, but not necessarily with them, not necessarily with this person who may try and make like a half-ass kind of comeback, if you know what I mean. So keep in mind that if that is what happens, it is maybe best for you to reconsider being by yourself, to reconsider just enjoying this time of fulfillment with yourself, the people who you love the most, and just celebrating your success and making sure that whoever you spend time with really appreciates and values your time, because they may definitely try and see their way through when it comes to you and your heart. And it is of course up to you what you decide to do, but this is just the information that I received from your reading, group number 3. I hope that you found it insightful, and I hope that it gave you a little bit of peace of mind, a little bit more clarity. Let me know down in the comment section what really hit home, or what really did reflect the situation that you were in with this person, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst group number 4, and I want to get straight into your reading about whether they will come back or not. So let's see what's up with you. We have the 7 of Feathers. So in the 7 of Feathers, I see some sort of restlessness. I see some sort of like trying to figure out exactly what is going on. So this may be you, this may be them. They're probably most likely not showing that, but in their head, there is a lot happening mentally where they're sort of like unsure what direction to move into. Then we have the 9 of Acorns, we have the Hermit, as well as Temperance, the Tower, as well as Love. So group number 4, there are a lot of things that are out of your control with this connection, okay? We only have 2 minor arcana cards, and the rest, you know, the Hermit, the Tower, Temperance, as well as Love, those are all major arcana cards, which mean that this situation is not necessarily 100% in your control. So I definitely see in Temperance that it is very important for you to restore balance as well as harmony. If you do not do so, then they will not come back into your life, okay? They will feel that the situation is imbalanced. They will feel as though they're kind of like a little too shy to come back in. That is one thing that I see in the Hermit, because they also want to protect themselves. They also want to protect their heart as well as, you know, their ego, etc. So I definitely see in the Tower that there's going to have to be a strong release, okay? If you have not taken that much time apart, you have to take a whole lot of time apart, because I see here in the Tower that it's very important for you to both come to different realizations as well as epiphanies of what love really is and what love really was in this situation. And that is one thing that I see here. You have to keep in mind that you have a choice. You don't need to feel as though either this person comes back or love is not going to be here or love is going to be difficult. That is not the case, group number 4. You have plenty of choices. You just need to open your eyes. You know what I mean? You just need to keep in mind, like, there's so many great people out there. Surely you did not just find the one great person in this world. You know what I mean? Just keep reminding yourself of that if you're going through it, if you're going through a rough patch, if you're going through heartache because of this situation. So as I said, they will only come back if they see that things are in balance with you. They will only come back if they're coming back to, say, like a warm bed, a warm hug, a like nice embrace. They will not come back if you are in an argumentative state, if you're in a state of resentment, of hurt, which also kind of indicates the fact that maybe they're not willing to put in all of the work that it takes to really mend your emotions if they have like shattered you in some way. And I want you to keep in mind that with relationships, once something like breaks, when something chips or cracks, like it cannot be put together. Like you will always remember that, okay? So you can sort of like glue it back together, if you will. You can mend it, but the crack will always be there. So see this as like an analogy for your memories, for your thoughts. You will always remember what transpired. You will always remember what happened. And you have to really think to yourself, like, is this something that you want? And also, do you want to give them that power? That is one thing that I want you to consider in the 9 of Acorns, especially if you're dealing with a fire sign. If you're a fire sign or they're a fire sign, keep in mind here that there may be a tendency to abuse this power. So they may come back and you may be sort of like in the weaker position, and they make sure that you feel it. You know, they make sure that you feel as though they're doing you a favor. And if that is the case, obviously do not, okay? They want to come back to a warm embrace, a warm bed. They want to come back to absolutely like zero things to discuss, but that is not happening, okay? Group number 4, you know your value, you know your worth. And another thing that I just want you to keep in mind here is that them noticing that you're not just over it, them noticing that you would actually want to look into this situation, that you would actually want to dissect it and move forward better if they come back. As soon as they notice that, you know, if their intentions are not pure, if their intentions have a lot to do with just what is best for them, know that they're not going to come back for good reason. And with good reason, I mean as though good reason for them. They don't want to come back because they don't want to deal with your emotions. They don't want to come back because they don't want to put in the time and effort that they know that you will now require. So see them not coming back in this situation as a blessing, because you don't want to be in a spot where you feel as though like, oh my God, maybe I should like just look over it. Maybe I should just get over it, so to say. But no, you don't have to get over it. If somebody hurt you and they are trying to make a comeback, they have to talk about it. You know, you have to sort it out. And if they can tell from your energy, from your vibration, that you have certain expectations, then they will stay far away if they are not the one. Because guess what? People who are not the one do not want to put in any time, energy, or effort into relationships, especially if they have already played you once and they would like to maybe be able to play you twice, or to just, you know, keep that little joker card on the side for when they need it and when it's convenient. So then we have the King of Crystals. So group number 4, in the King of Crystals, I want you to know that we have a strong earth sign who is mature, who knows what they're doing. who has like their head on their shoulders. And with earth sign, there could also be earth sign energy to the point where your career is important to you. You know what you want, you can see how you picture your life to be in 10, 20, 30 years. And I want you to not let that sort of like crown slip or slide. In the King of Crystals, I want you to keep in mind that that is awesome. That just shows what like a strong person you are, what a driven person that you are, and don't allow this situation to affect you. You know, don't allow their absence to make you feel any way about yourself, your goals, or your value, really. Then we have control as well as flow. So group number 4, one thing that we spoke about before was the situation with maybe an abuse of power. And I definitely see that there is a controlling streak here. So that may have to do with them. That may also have to do with you, that maybe they broke your trust by infidelity. Maybe they broke your trust through something that really hurt you in the worst way. And now you want control. Now, if they come back, you want like full control of all of their passwords, of all of their emails and messages, and you want to make sure that that isn't happening again, which is of course understandable, but it is not healthy. I want you to keep in mind that things can only keep flowing if you relinquish like control, if you make sure that you don't fall into that, because when you are really desperate to control somebody and the situation, they can smell like the desperation. They can tell that you're insecure about something. And if this is what has happened in this relationship to you, do not carry that on to future relationships. Do not bring this energy with you, because anybody who you meet in the future is either going to make complete use of the fact that you are controlling and therefore you are like on the weaker side because you care a lot and because you're afraid to get hurt, or they may be the type who will just see it as something that is not very attractive, as something that they don't really want in their life. You know, they're not trying to make use of it, but they don't necessarily want it either. So don't feel like this situation has to affect the rest of your life or any other future relationship that you may have. Make sure that you leave any sort of like sour feelings, any little bitterness that you still have in the past, okay? Don't take anything with you out of this situation that is negative, anything with you out of this situation that is too controlling. You know, everybody needs space, everybody needs privacy, and if you feel as though you cannot trust, if you feel as though your trust will be broken again, know that in love, you know, one of the most important things is trust. And if there is no trust there, there is no point in this connection, group number 4. Then we have big happy changes. The situation will improve. We have you're ready and remain positive. So overall, we have a super positive outcome for you, group number 4. So I definitely see here that, you know, there are a lot of big changes coming for you that will improve your situation. So this leads me to think that you are going to meet somebody completely new, somebody completely different who all of a sudden makes you feel like, wow, why didn't I value myself enough to be with somebody who I don't need to take back, who would never hurt me like this? That is one thing that I see in love, as well as the Hermit. You know, we have somebody who is complacent, somebody who does not want to change, and then we have new love that is here on the horizon in correlation to big happy changes. You know, it is a change to what you are used to. So I want you to remain positive and to know that you're ready for these changes. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to feel as though you'll be alone for a very long time. Things can really fall into place at a much quicker pace than you ever expected, but you have to keep your vibration on a positive level. You have to keep it where you are attracting somebody who is ready for a mature relationship, who is ready for a relationship where there's trust, where there's mutual understanding, and where both parties are 100% ready to take it seriously. So group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it gave you clarity. Let me know down below what really hit home or what really resonated with your situationship, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.